Now for some book talk. Some critical thinking strategies that I believe I used during my reading were questioning to understand was one of them. This critical thinking strategy engages the students by having them listen more attentively to what I am reading to them, asking them questions during the reading as well as before and after as I did, helps them to focus on what is going on in the story so they can answer the questions and better comprehend what is being read to them. Another thinking strategy that I used, and I think it ties into the first one, is thinking independently. And that one can be used along with the first one, which is questioning to understand, by having the students think on their own what the answers might be to any questions regarding the story, having them look for it in the text. Another critical thinking strategy would be analyzing meanings of words or phrases, such as when I asked what thou and thee meant, words that Silas used when he was telling Thomas the story. Another book by Mary Higgins Clark that would interest you is called The Magical Christmas Horse. That's obviously would be a fun book for the holidays. The setting of this story, Ghost Ship, is in Cape Cod. I believe that would have been the most appropriate setting for this story for very obvious reasons. The story that Silas is depicting to Thomas is in that time setting, not in that time setting, in that setting. If it would have been in any other part of the world, it might have been a little different. It might have not made as much sense. Let's see, if he had not been there where he was in Cape Cod, he might have never found the belt buckle. You know, it was meant to be there. I want to show you some illustrations, such as, let's see, right here, this illustration. I like this illustration because it shows the transition between childish drawings to a little bit more mature pictures in a book. It's very realistic. Wendell Miner did a good job of showing expression on their faces. Thomas looks very attentive to what Silas is saying. Silas's hand gesture shows how he is explaining something to Thomas. The colors are very realistic to the setting, to the time of the day. This was a really good one. And you can also see that Thomas is a ghost. You can see through Thomas to the beach horizon, which Wendell Miner did a very, very good job of doing that. I'd like to also read, which this page also has a really good illustration, but I'd also like to read a little exciting part of the story where things are getting exciting, keeps the reader wanting to know what's going to happen. So this is a little part of the story that I didn't get to before that I want to read. Where were the Mooncussers and Samuel Lewis? Perhaps a mile away, lighting their lanterns. We began our fire and flamed it higher and higher, but I still feared it would be too late. Captain Hallett would have seen the other lights first. Truly, I was in despair thinking how the captain had built his beautiful home and might never live to see it or his family again. And that was when I knew what I must do. Thomas, come up now. It was his grandmother calling him from the top of the stairs. I just want to pause and explain what's going on here. This is the climax of Silas's story, where he is saving the sea captain who Silas worked for, and that we learned this at the beginning of the story, if I'm not mistaken. And the illustration depicts the past in Silas's story, but they are still in present day. time, which is why she puts in here, Thomas, come up now. It was his grandmother calling him from the top of the stairs. So that shows us that we're still in present day time as well, because Thomas can obviously still hear his grandmother calling him. And now going back to Silas's story, Thomas basically ignores his grandmother's call. What did you do, Silas? Thomas asked. I don't want to go until you tell me the rest of the story. Mistress Hallett had come out of the house and was standing on the top step. Yes. I called to her to stand back, and I began to drag logs to the foot of the stairs. My friends understood what needed to be done and yanked and hauled the remaining logs to the stairs. You set the stairs on fire! Thomas exclaimed. Yes, we did. We knew that they would flame high, and if the captain was nearby, he would see the silhouette of his home and know that he was not yet at harbor. Did it work? It was just when the flames began to climb that one of our lads called out, He is there! I see the ship! And here Wendell Minor does a good job of illustrating the fire with its very vivid colors and realistic colors, showing the intensity of the situation. Oh, Thomas, the brave captain, was heading straight for the beach where the Mooncusters were waiting. More logs, I shouted. We tossed them on. We took off our shirts and threw them on the fire. The flames began to leap to the sky. Then, just as it would have been too late, we saw them in Monomoy change course. Oh, Thomas, the moment of glory and joy when we could discern that it set itself safely to harbor. And then, like a gift from God, as he passed us and the still blazing fire, the captain dipped his sail to give thanks to us. Later, he told me that he could see his home bright, sharp against the sky, and knew that the course he was on would have brought him to doom. And there we read that little exciting part in the story where Silas was in the process of saving the captain that then hired him to be his cabin boy. He basically saved his captain's life and his ship and brought him safely home to his wife and saved the day. Yes, he set the stairs on fire, but he did it to save his captain. And this was the story that I chose. I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was very insightful and something that can really engage the students in critical thinking, as well as appreciating new artwork in books, appreciating these very lively illustrations, learning new words, and engaging them in read-alouds to think critically and hopefully encourage them to read more. And that is why I chose Ghost Ships by Mary Higgins Clark. Thank you.